Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, Big Al, coming at y'all with one of them review videos. But this one's pretty special, y'all. Cause I got my car in the video. I'm reviewing this here car. Now, if y'all couldn't tell, this car is, probably in the title, but this car is a 1966 Mustang. Now, we gotta know what's in the Mustang, right? So let's see what we got ourselves here. Can't do this with one hand. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, so now that we got the hood open, let's see what we got underneath. Because, that's like the best part of a car, right? What's got under the hood? Oh, it looks like a 289 or... Is that a rock? Damn squirrels. So what we got under the hood? We got a 200... We got a 200 straight 6 with an HEI distributor. Here comes another one. That is just so obnoxious. Oh, Jesus. Anyways, it's a 200 straight 6 with an HEI distributor. It's got a single barrel carburetor on it. And it's got the stock exhaust manifold and intake manifold because it's actually cast into the head. It's like the worst part of these engines. Got a bunch of replacement parts. Back there you can see my new starter. My HEI distributor is obviously not original. Recently put a new oil pan, pickup, and pump on the thing. Also, my favorite upgrade. Yeah, buddy. This right here is my windshield washer pump and fluid reservoir. It actually doesn't have anything in it right now, but it's held on to the stock location where the bag used to hang. Right here, these little hooks. This is the old antenna from the AM only radio that actually holds this thing on, and I've never actually had it fall. It's been close a couple of times, but it's never actually fallen out, which is incredible. I think it's kind of like, yeah, that's not my best moment, but I actually have upgraded the brakes. It doesn't have power brakes, but it does have the 2 reservoirs. So if my front brakes go out, I still have my back brakes and vice versa. I do, in fact, have new rims on here with a front disc brake conversion. The back still has the drums on it, but it looks okay. And it stops way better than it used to. Now, you're probably thinking, Alex, the car looks so good. But if you saw it in person, you might think something else. It's been through quite a bit of damage in its life. At one point, it was actually T-boned on this side. The door is new, and there is a brass weld right here that goes all the way up the side of the body. It actually kind of goes this way and then up that way. It's really ugly. Couldn't see it when we bought the car. It was all covered up with Bondo. This little flare on the wheel wasn't even visible anymore. There was so much Bondo in here. But we tried to bring that back and fix it. My dad did all that work. Really appreciate it. Then you can see some of the interior. I have 2 6 by or 3 by whatever the speakers are. I can't even remember. I don't care. Anyways, they're really cheap Boss speakers that I just bought and threw in there. The reason I bought cheap speakers is because these cars leak like crazy, and mine just so happens to leak right here. Like if I poured a cup of water on this window, it would all drain into my car and into the trunk and into this little, like there's like a little metal pan right here pretty much, and it all fills up with water. So I was like, if I lose these speakers, I don't want it to be nice speakers. So I just bought some cheap speakers, and if you ever hear the audio system, you'll be able to tell that they're cheap speakers. For my tail lights, I actually did an LED conversion just for funsies. It does the little 1, 2, 3 on the blinker. You know, it's pretty neat. But the LEDs were important because I need people to see me when I'm braking. I do not want to get rear-ended in this car because it's a lot like a Pinto, where if you get rear-ended, the gas tank's in the back and it might explode. So I was really worried about people seeing me when I'm stopping. This is the original rear bumper, actually. It's actually in pretty good condition. Apart from being hit, this car lived in a furniture shop, an air-conditioned furniture shop, since the 80s. So it's actually pretty straight on this side. And it had the tires on it from the 80s that weren't even dry rotted. These are not the tires from the 80s. These are obviously new rims and new tires. What else is on the back? It's the original reverse lights. It's pretty neat. If I can get underneath here and show you, my muffler is so rusted. There it is. It's so rusted that it sounds like a piece of crap when it's going down the highway, but it still drives really well. There's actually a hole. It's too dark to see, but there's a hole on the bottom of the muffler right there where all that rust is. And I do have new leaf springs on it. The old leaf springs were pretty worn out. I used to bottom out in the rear end when I'd hit bumps. That was painful. Now it rides like a cloud. Just kind of bounces everywhere. The little guard on the bottom has been painted with like outdoor furniture paint. Looks pretty good, just to complement the wheels. I have all new Mustang emblems on it, and I actually had to put a new front bumper on it. My dad bought the front bumper for me. I really appreciate it. The old front bumper was just so bubbled up and nasty from years of just rusting. So we put new ones on it. I actually have LED blinkers on the front and new headlights, so people can see me. Being seen is very important when you're in an old car. I put all new shocks on it since I've got it. It still has the original springs. Have a new alternator. The radiator needs replaced. It's a ticking time bomb. One of these days it'll just start leaking horrendously while I'm driving down the road. I drive this thing pretty much as a daily driver in the summer and whenever I'm home. So it gets a lot of use. So it has the original windshield wipers on it. Might as well keep those. I actually bought the rubber for the windshield wipers from Advanced Auto Parts. I was surprised that they had it. Obviously this isn't the original color of the car. When I bought the car, it was a tomato paste red. Now, some people that have old cars love the red color. Unfortunately, this car didn't come red. It came antique bronze. You can actually still see that color in that pan where the speakers are that I was talking about before. So down there where the speakers are, if I was to take that black piece out, you could see the antique bronze color. But I do love this car. The original interior color was cream, I do believe. Fortunately, it was really rotten. These are the original seats. I've kind of modified the driver's seat to lean back a little bit more because I'm too tall to fit in the car. So you can see that seat leans back just a little bit more so that I fit. We repainted those metal panels that you're looking at right now. Sorry for the stuttering. That you're looking at right now. We repainted them with the exterior paint. And we did the same thing with the insides of the doors. So you can see right here, both sides of the door are the same color. The metal has a texture to it on the door, so that's pretty neat. And we put all new black interior. I bought a center console for it so I could put my drinks in. You also see another one of my modifications right here. We have the speedometer sitting in the cup holder. Or not, wow, speedometer. We have the tachometer sitting in the cup holder. I also updated the radio, so I have AM and FM. And there's a little box down there, so I have an auxiliary port. That is nice when you have a smartphone. That is the original glove compartment. I just repainted it, and I left a little memento to the old car itself. I never cleaned that up. It's the original paint, original emblem, and I love it. Right here we have the original instrument cluster with a new plastic piece over it. The old plastic piece was just too beat up, couldn't save it. We have a new steering wheel. Yeah, I like my steering wheel. It's nice. It's rubbery, so if I do get rear-ended or hit somebody, my face will hit that instead of a hard wooden... yeah, anyways. We don't want to wreck at this point. I do have seat belts in here. Right there. Now, you would be complaining because they're attached lower than your shoulder and they'll break your collarbone. Unfortunately, we didn't want to attach them to the roof up here. So, I'm just going to have to live with a broken collarbone if we wreck. Now, you see in my back seat, I have this fishing pole. This is from a friend's grandfather. He doesn't fish anymore, so he gave away all his fishing poles. But, I have a pony interior. You're thinking, why did you put a pony interior in a straight six car? Well, I love my car, so pony interior it is all the way. Here's a better view of my speakers. Not that great, they get the job done. Now, my favorite part of this car, there's a lot of favorite parts. The shifter. These linkages are notoriously floppy. I could probably just drag it into reverse, but I don't want to hurt it. And you see my wiring job. Sometimes it's hidden, sometimes it's not. Whenever I need to fix something, it's not hidden anymore. So obviously I had to fix something more recently. Anyways, let's get this thing started up and I'll talk about it as I drive it. So the question is, does this thing start? Well, it obviously starts. I drove it over here. But how well does it start? It's a carbureted engine. Honestly, I wouldn't expect it to start this well, but we'll see if it lives up to my expectation. You can literally flick the key on this thing and it'll start. Now, you'll notice that the car shakes a little bit. You see my mirror is shaking. It's a straight six engine. Sometimes it idles well, sometimes it doesn't. It's notoriously moody. It idles at about 600 RPM. Doesn't do bad. You can hear my poor muffler. It's fun. Oh, my tachometer does this weird thing with my speakers. Hold on. I'm gonna turn up the radio. Yeah, that's actually pretty common. Here, I'll put you back here so you can hear it. It is actually horrible. Hey, it stopped, and it's back. Just kind of does that. One of these wires is causing some issues. I've been thinking about just removing the tachometer altogether. It's an automatic, obviously. So I don't really need it. I just wanted to see if I could put one in, and my new distributor supported one, so I bought one. I was like, let's throw it in, and my grandfather came up, helped me put it in. It was pretty neat. I'm gonna turn that back down so we can't hear it anymore. Something that doesn't work is my emergency flashers. Yeah, they don't work. My light in there does, that's cool. I got all kinds of stuff in there. Like my Summit Racing stickers, and I don't know, there's some old stuff. Hey, look, there's my aviator, so I look old school while I'm driving my old school car. Something else that's cool about this car, you'll see down here. Sorry, I touched the steering wheel. That's how much the car shakes. You see this little button down here? Ignore the wires. That's actually the high beams, believe it or not. It's on the floor. A lot of people don't know that about old cars. Now you see up here, I have my wipers and lights and ignition and my lighter. My lighter actually doesn't work, it's not even wired. This thing actually fell out, so we just super glued it in. Pretty neat. This is the heat and fan. Sometimes I turn the heater on when the car starts to overheat, it'll cool it down a little bit. Or maybe that's just a myth. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's a myth or not. My blinkers. Now the sequential taillights don't work right now because my old, I guess, relay went out. So I had to put another LED relay in there, one that came with the blinkers. So now my blinkers, it used to do this weird thing where it would blink twice as slow. So I'm not sure if it's an improvement or not, but I don't know. Safety improvement, yes. Style improvement, no. Let's drive this thing. Alright guys, so I got my seatbelt on. We're gonna drive it. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that the brakes squeak a little bit. But that means that they're working, right? And when you put it in reverse, it'll clunk. It'll come right back out into neutral and then clunk into drive. Alright. Now, it likes to be driven. I've noticed that when I don't drive this car for a period of time, that it won't want to start again. Either it's carbureted or anything like that. But I can go a couple of weeks and it'll still be okay. But more than that, and obviously this car doesn't have traction control, so I just spun the tires in the gravel. It is really loud, especially with this crappy exhaust on it. I'm just going to drive it around the block here, give you guys a feel for it. Turn my blinker on because there's a lot of traffic out right now for some reason. And turn right here. We're going to punch it just for the hell of it. Lost my camera. It does have a little bit of kick to it, not a lot. It's obviously a smaller engine. I'm sorry about the wind. It's hot. It's like 85 degrees today. So you're just gonna have to live with it. My videos aren't professional. They're just me in my life. So get over it. Now this car is extremely fun to drive. It's an old car. You get all the looks. There's a guy in a Mazda that just gave me a thumbs up. He had an obnoxious car. So I guess the question for you guys is, would you buy a 1966 Mustang? I don't know. Do you want a car that's flashy but you can't drive every day? It's probably a waste of your time and money. It's just a luxury. It's not an asset. But if you're into old cars and you want to get started, a cheap car to get started with is a straight six car. Particularly a common straight six car like a Mustang. They're not sought after by the car guys who will spend their entire life savings on a car. Obviously, I'm young. I've had this car since I was 13. And I'll do another video of the history of this car if you want that. But getting into old cars, I'd recommend a straight six car. You know, just see if you like it. Because you'll have all the same mechanical issues. You can dial it up a little bit, tune it in, and, you know, learn about cars in general just on an older system. Newer cars you can't fix like older cars. So, but hey, it's in the end, it's the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, if you love your car and you want to spend time and money on it, then yes, buy it. If you're like, I don't want all the power. I mean, one of the best selling points of this car is that it gets 20 miles to the gallon on the highway. It's crazy. You would never expect that from a 51-year-old car. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you would buy this car off of me. I paid $3,000 for it 7 years ago, or my dad did. It was supposed to be my first car. And then my mom went crazy, and it's not safe enough. I don't know. That's a can of worms right there. But I love my car. I'll probably own it till the day I die. Alright guys, so if you liked this video and you want more, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and don't forget to comment down below if you would buy this car. Also, tell me if you want a history of this car. Like, I can do a whole video on the history. It's been in my life for 7 years, you know. So 7 years of history with a car is a lot of history. When you go to car shows, and like I've asked old dudes, like they're like 65 years old and they're driving around a, you know, a Corvette or something, like a, I don't know, like a 66 Corvette, and you're like, man, this dude's had to have this car for like 20 years at least. And he asked the dude, he's like, yeah, I bought this car 3 months ago, you know, for $100,000. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, you've had it for 3 months, like, what have you done to it? And they're like, nah, man, I'm just keeping it the way it is. And I'm like, I've literally rebuilt my car with my dad and grandfather, and this dude's winning trophies at the car shows, and I'm like just there to be there because I love cars. So, like, if you love cars, like if you love family, I don't know, like if you love hard work, that's why I have this. I mean, obviously when you're young, your parents have to fight with you to be like, hey, this car's awesome. And there was a fight. And I'll talk about that in the history video, if that's what you guys, probably make a history video anyways, honestly. But yeah, I've learned a lot doing this, and I've worked hard to keep doing this. But we'll do a history video. I'll tell you guys all about it. I have lots of pictures. It'd be like a slideshow. Very interesting slideshow of history. Anyways, like and subscribe for more videos about my life, or this car, or cars in general, or computers, or fun things. I don't know, mostly in my life. I do fun things. It's just how I am. Like and subscribe.